Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next family chat, What to Expect at Move-In. We are so excited to really kick off this series because we did the first video in May and what to expect at orientation. And so we're just going to jump right in. I know people will start joining the video kind of as we get going here, but we're going to jump right into it. So what to expect at Move-In. We're so excited. We're counting down the days, right?
Yes,
10 days, 9 days.
Right around the corner.
Yes. And so we're so excited to kick off the school year, welcome all of our new students. And so today with me, well, I guess I should introduce myself in case you don't know me, but I was in the first video. My name is Carrie West. I'm the coordinator in the Office of Transition Programs. And so I have the honor to work with all of our incoming students, our transfer student population, as well as our families. And so one thing that I did want to note, if you have not already signed up for Family Weekend, make sure that's on your radar. Go look at our website, Family Weekend, September 20th through the 22nd. So make sure that you check out those awesome events that weekend. So with me today, my guest for What to Expect to Move In, it's only appropriate that housing staff comes and talks with us. So today I have Brittany Burrows. And why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, Brittany?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So my name is Brittany Burrows. I am the residence coordinator for the Tri-House community, which is comprised of Cornerstone, Keystone, and Innovation House, all first-year resident students. A couple things about housing and also myself. I am an alum, so I graduated from UNCW with my master's in 2017, and I've been working here with our Housing Residence Life Department since 2015.
Cool, awesome. So just so everyone knows, this live format will be live for probably 25, 30 minutes or so, depending on the questions that we get. So with that, we have some questions that are kind of planned just to kick us off, get us started, that kind of thing. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. And so we have a plethora of people behind the scenes that are ready to answer those questions. So they might answer you right there in the comments, or they might feed us the question to ask it live and for Brittany to answer it live. So drop those in the comments there. So Brittany, if you will, just get us started and kind of do an overview of housing residence life and kind of what your world looks like right now.
Right. So quick overview of housing residence life. We have 7 residential areas and 11 residence hall totals. And so we have 7 professional staff and grad staff working within those different areas. We have tons and tons of staff on campus, whether that's resident assistants or desk receptionists that are going to be there to help your student move in and get excited about this new adventure that they're taking on. So a lot of stuff is happening in our world right now. We are in training. Currently our RAs came back on Sunday. So we're finishing out our first week of training and getting ready to welcome you all to our campus next Saturday. And we're just really, really getting ready for that big old day, what we like to call our Super Bowl, which is Move-In Day. So we're excited to see you all August 17th. Just a quick housekeeping thing that we wanted to bring up. There was a mistake in regards to the placards that were sent out for Move-In Day. That was our fault, and we definitely want to apologize for that. Please make sure that you have a yellow place card, which you should be receiving in the mail here soon if your student is checking into CAP, which is going to be Cornerstone, Keystone, Innovation, Seahawk Crossing, and then Schwartz and Suites. And you have a blue place card for Trask if your student is checking into Galloway, Grimm, Hewlett, or Belk. So we did want to address that because that is a mistake that happened on our behalf, but we want to make sure that everybody has the correct place cards so that Move-In Day can go as smooth as possible.
Perfect. So you got those went out in the mail this week.
Yes, they did.
So they'll be looking for that to be able to change that out. That came in the original move-in packet.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So that was helpful. So talking about y'all's bowl, the big day, the best day of the year, move-in. Talk to us a little bit. Let's talk chronologically, I guess. We'll start with the questions from there. What before they leave their house? What do they pack? What do they not pack?
Yes, so this is a really big thing. When you are looking at packing, we really want your students to pack what they need in order to make their new residence hall feel like home. So definitely bring those lamps, bring your school supplies so that you can make sure that you get all your studying done. Bring a really good mattress cover and a mattress pad to make sure that your bed is comfy. All of our beds in our first year areas are twin extra long, so please make sure that you are purchasing the right size sheets. Couple things not to pack, candles. As much as we love the scent of candles, those are a fire hazard, so we ask that you do leave those at home. And then any pets, please leave those at home as well. As much as we love dogs and cats here on this campus, they unfortunately are not allowed in our residence halls.
Yeah, okay. So you can find a list on your website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Housing's website for kind of a check-off list of things. Make sure as you put them in the car, you're putting the right things in the car, that kind of thing. I would also really suggest, you're going to do this anyways, but make sure you bring personal, effects too. Pictures, family and friends that maybe you won't see for a little bit, anything like that, anything special to your student, that kind of thing. Bring that, so like what you said, to make it feel like home, because it is going to be their home.
And make sure that as you are packing that you are going ahead and labeling everything. So if I was moving into Galloway Hall, room 202, it would say Brittany Burrows, Galloway Hall, room 202 on everything. For our volunteers, that helps them when they are grabbing the stuff during that move-in time to make sure it gets to the correct location and that we don't have any items missing.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great pro tip there. All right, so we got the car packed, it's loaded down, we drive to Wilmington. What's going to happen when we get to Wilmington and get to turn on the campus?
Right, so once you turn on the campus, you'll be directed to your check-in location, which is either going to be Trask Coliseum for Belk, Graham Hewlett, and Galloway, or CAB, which is going to be for Cornerstone, Innovation, Keystone, Seahawk Crossing, Schwartz, and Suites. You'll be directed by our lovely UPD officers to your check-in location, where you will get your room key, as well as filling out that blue emergency card and also that yellow card if you haven't done that yet. And from there, you will then leave, get back in your car, and you will be directed to the building and the unloading location for that building. Once you pull up, there are going to be thousands of volunteers all over campus, and we really don't want you to lift a finger. We're going to have your student get out, come, unlock their door while the parents are parking the car, and we're just going to go ahead and bring everything up for you so that you can spend that time bonding with your student and getting settled into your new home.
Yeah, I was a part of Move In for the first time last year. I was a new staff member, and I was a traffic coordinator at Hewlett. And I gotta say, I had a blast. Every single car that pulled up, smiling faces, they're excited to be there. I think some of the dads especially were especially excited. They don't have to carry heavy things upstairs. So shout out to you. We have a lot of volunteers to come. Like Brittany talked about, they're gonna just swarm your car like a bunch of bees, and they're going to ask you what room. They're going to carry everything up to the room of the student. One person stays with the car and moves it and parks and then comes back. It should be pretty painless of an experience, so we're excited for that. So once you get moved in, a lot of people kind of start unpacking, get settled. Some people have to still go make Target runs or Walmart runs or that kind of thing, and so they're going to be busy. Talk a little bit to me about when they get settled and the parents and family members are getting ready to leave. What is that like? So you either get one or two reactions. You have those parents who are super excited for their students, but we also understand that at that time could be a sad moment for some of our students. This could be the first time that they're ever leaving home, and they're going to be away from their parents for a long time. I highly suggest taking your student out to lunch before you leave. Give them that time and space to reflect on what they really want their year to be and how you are going to support each other, and then say, I'll see you later. Go get involved, get ready for your floor meeting, and I'll come back for family weekend to come check in and visit you and see how you're doing. So definitely give your student that space, because the first few hours are usually a little bit rough, but we do have staff on hand if your student needs anything at that point. But then also give them a couple of weeks and come back and visit them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it could be a little bit of an emotional goodbye, or it could be the students really excited, and so they might not show their emotions right there in the moment to your family. I know I was definitely that way my freshman year. For some reason, I was at the rec center of my undergrad, and we were saying goodbye in the parking lot, and my mom started getting teared up a little bit. My sisters were tearing up a little bit, and I was just fine. I was just like, okay, bye. And they got in the car and they drove off and started crying, and I was like ready for college. And so I think it's important to realize there might be a couple different reactions from students when they say goodbye to you. So So when parents or family are driving back to your hometown, kind of talk to me a little bit. What are students doing? Like they're here, they're taking a deep breath. It's college. They're in their room. What happens that night and the next couple days?
Right. So the first day for all of our first year students, we do have mandatory floor meetings. This is where they get to meet their RAs. They get to meet those that are going to be living on the hall with them. And they really get that opportunity to start building that community. After the first floor meetings, that happen between the hours of 5 and 7. So definitely tell your student to be on the lookout from either an email from their RA or flyers posted around the residence halls as to when that time is going to be for their floor meeting. The RAs walk them, the resident assistants, walk them over to our hypnotist, and that is really where all the fun begins. And so we have an annual hypnotist that comes every year, and our students get to go up and be hypnotized if they want, or just in the audience and watch. We have physical graffiti, which is one of our hip hop dance teams perform, and it's always a great time. And then from that day moving forward, it's just a week full of just welcome events, whether that's Beach Blast or Rock the Wreck or Summer Sizzle, a bunch of things for your students to get out and meet new people.
Yeah, for sure. I think some people are asking what kind of happens, what events are there for students. And so like Brittany talked about, the first night, the hypnotist is the big event on Saturday.
Yes.
For all new students that are coming in. It's a great show. Sunday, I did want to mention, out of our office, we are still holding an orientation session. So there's a little over 400 freshmen that have not attended a June orientation session. So they're actually going to be coming in that Sunday. They're going to move in, come to orientation on Sunday and part of Monday, and then we go right into convocation. And so on Monday, all incoming students attend convocation, if you haven't heard about this event yet either. And so students will be receiving an assignment in their emails, in their UNCW emails, to a small group location for that Monday. And so they'll go there, they'll meet actually with a faculty member and a Seahawk link or an upperclassman student. And they kind of talk about just expectations in the classroom, UNCW expectations, that kind of thing, and then walk all together to take a class picture. And then they walk over to Trask for the actual convocation ceremony. It's kind of the kickoff of the academic year. And so that's happening Monday. Tuesday, it's Beach Blast. If you haven't heard about that, but probably have. That's a big event for our students that we love doing the day before classes. We actually shuttle students down to Wrightsville Beach. There's pizza, or there's food, games, music, all kinds of things. They need to get to enjoy the beach right before they jump into classes the next day. And so those are things to be looking out for. If you haven't already, you can download our UNCW Guide app that a lot of people used at orientation. If you download the app, then you can download separate guides. And so there's an orientation guide on there. There's a family weekend guide where you can look at the schedule, as well as a UNC welcome guide. And so you can look at the schedule of events, and gosh, there's so many events, really, that students get immediately plugged into. RAs will take their halls, Seahawk Links will take their classes. And so there's a lot of opportunities those first few weeks for students to go to those events, see ways they want to get involved, as well as like meet, hang out with other people and that kind of thing. Cool. I'm just trying to see if we have any questions in the comments. We're gonna get those from just a second. So can you talk about, while we're waiting on that, maybe why you love about your job? What's your favorite part about your job?
Oh, that's a hard one.
As a resident coordinator.
So I love a lot about my job. I think the biggest thing that I love is that I've been working with first year students since I came to UNCW, so since a grad student in 2015. And the biggest thing I love to see, or the most rewarding part of my position, is when they come in as first year students and they're not too sure about whether they want to get involved, or they are not too sure if this is really their home, and then they leave going on to their sophomore year, super excited to come back in there now a part of SGA, or they're part of RHA, and they're getting involved and they found their community, and just seeing how much they've grown as leaders is definitely one of my parts of my job.
Yeah, I think y'all have a really cool opportunity, is living in the residence halls with these students, and the residence corner as a pro staff, the assistant residence coordinator as a grad, and the RAs, the resident assistants that live in there, are really, I feel like, a lot of times the first mentors that these students kind of have, and those first connections that they get to make. So I think you guys have a really special job for sure. So we had a couple questions come in the comments. Peggy is asking if you recommend eating off campus or staying on campus for dining options during move-in day.
Hey, Peggy. So I would definitely say go off campus. On campus, as you'll see it when you come on, it's going to be pretty hectic. So go off campus, go somewhere quiet. There are some great restaurant locations around Wilmington, and go somewhere and just get that quiet time with your student and have that opportunity to take them away from all the hecticness of the day before they come back for our first floor meetings.
Yeah, I will add to your students about to eat in the residence halls a lot. So go treat them to something nice, maybe something that's slightly above their budget, maybe for a college student. So Chick-fil-A is great, but there might be some other restaurants they want to try in Wilmington that maybe they won't go to throughout the year on their own budget. So maybe treat them that day. Go find a quiet spot, like Brittany said. Just kind of have a moment, say goodbye, say encourage them. I think that's a big thing that I encourage families that I talk about throughout the years. Encouraging your student, not just on that one day, but throughout the year, I think can make such a big difference in whether they persist through college. I know for me, that was a big motivating factor for me. Being the first in my family to go to college, my family was a big motivating factor for me to finish, for sure.
It does go a long way.
Yeah. So kind of with that, someone asked, what time should parents depart campus on move-in day?
I think that's up to you. Definitely before that 5 o'clock floor meeting, but do what feels natural for you and your student. There is not going to be a time where any of the staff is going to come up and say, okay, you've been here for 30 minutes, it's time for you to go, because we understand that sometimes our students and even our families need just a little bit more time to spend with their student to make sure that they feel comfortable and safe in their new environment. So honestly, whatever feels natural for you and your student.
Yeah. So they can start checking in at 8, right? Not before 8.
Not before 8.
Get here before 8, go get a biscuit, go do something, and then come back at 8. Just so our volunteers are all in place. It's for you to be able to do that. And then we'll have volunteers from 8 to 1. And so try to come during that time frame, because that's when all of the volunteers are here to help you. If you come after 1, you're going to be moving in on your own. And obviously staff's in the buildings and that kind of thing, but you're gonna be moving in all of your stuff from your car and back and forth. So I'd definitely come at 1. Because that's kind of the time frame. In the 1 to 5 range, go do a Target run if you need to, go take your student out to lunch, go kind of do those things. And then choose just a natural time, like what you said, whenever it feels natural, whenever you need to head back. Some people are driving 2 hours, some people are driving 6 or more. And so whenever it feels right before they have those hall meetings for the students, those floor meetings for the students. So that's great. You said something about Summer Sizzle, and someone asked what that meant.
So Summer Sizzle is an annual program put on by the Residence Hall Association, which is almost like student government for our residential students. And it's really just our last kickoff, our last wind down, I guess, not really kickoff, of summer. And we have vendors come out like Pelican Ice, we have inflatables. This year they're looking to do some type of karaoke as well. It's a great program for your students to come out and really just get to know the different community, all the different students here on campus, and start to build that community. This year, it's going to be held on the Seahawk Crossing lawn, and all the times and details and all that stuff is going to be in that Welcome Week program.
Okay, cool.
It's a great program. Come on out.
Yeah, it sounds fun. Pelican Ice and all that. That sounds a lot of fun. I had a question for you while we wait on another question coming from the comments. Let's see. Each month, we're going to try to do this family chat and have a different topic. And so we did orientation, we're doing move-in. In the next couple of months, we're going to figure out kind of topic areas of things that your student might be facing that month, particularly. And so I'm curious from your perspective, what's something that, what's a challenge a lot of first-year students kind of face in their first year of college? And I guess, like, what resources do you kind of typically point those students to?
Right. That's a good question.
Put you on the spot. I didn't plan this question.
It's fine. One thing that really comes up, especially in September, October, before we get to fall break, before we get to Thanksgiving break, is that sense of homesickness. And so making sure that if you feel like your student is isolating themselves or they feel homesick, to reach out to some residence life staff so that we can get them back connected to campus. We have an amazing counseling center that helps us out with that, but then we also have RAs who are more than willing to get your student out and take them in the lunch or put on a great program that your student can come and enjoy. So that's definitely one thing. And then also come October, that's when academics start to rev up. And so that encouragement piece is really a big thing, but also check in with your student and see how's uni going or how's that bio class going. We have a great learning center here on campus, and if you reach out to their RCE or their ARC, we would be able to get them in contact and provide that referral for your student, or meet with your student and see what is it on campus that we can help get them where they need to be academically.
Yeah, for sure. I know academics will start revving up in
Yes.
October. I'm sure their homesickness is also something that kind of comes up. I didn't catch if you mentioned that, but homesickness sometimes, even if they're an hour or two away, that can start feeling that in October when it's been a couple of weeks since they've seen their family and that kind of thing. That's definitely something to be aware of. And I think you mentioned it earlier too, that Family Weekend is about 5 or 6 weeks into the semester, and that's purposefully done so that your student kind of has those first 5 or 6 weeks of really getting acclimated. I don't encourage students to like go home every single weekend those first 6 weeks. Like they need to be here and making those connections and really making this feel like this is their home. And then Family Weekend's a great time for families to come back, see how they're getting acclimated, meet their friends that they've been talking about when they call you, if they call you, or you get a text message about them. But Family Weekend's a great time to do that. So definitely encourage you. I know I've said it a couple times. It's a shameless plug, but it's my office. It's my program. Come to Family Weekend. We love it. It's a great event.
Also, during Family Weekend, there are Residence Hall meet and greets for our first year areas. So definitely pop in and say hello to the Residence Life staff too.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of events going on. Friday night, there is a meet and greet with HRL staff from 4 to 5. There's also an honors college if your students in honors during that time as well. You can do a drop-in. Other than that, we have a lot of events happening Saturday especially. We do a scavenger hunt across campus. It's a lot of fun. We have bubble soccer. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it and see, but it looks like a lot of fun. We're doing a brunch if you're interested in that on Saturday. And then after that, having a mystery dinner theater. I've never done one of these, so I'm excited to see what it looks like. But it's with a group from the House of Blues down in Myrtle Beach is coming up and going to do an improv theater while we eat dinner. So it's to help solve the case, solve the mystery, and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be a fun event. Let's see, from our comments, we got a question, I think because we were talking about running and making Walmart or Target trips. Is it going to be difficult to go make those trips, or what's it going to look like?
I will say that Wilmington anticipates this day because there are a lot of students moving in. So there are 2,300 freshmen, I believe, moving in on that day. So ideally, if I was you, I would go ahead and try to get those essentials before you come to campus because Walmart and Target are going to be pretty hectic during that day. There's only one of each of them in close proximity to campus. But if you, for some reason, need to run out and get something else, that's perfectly fine too. Definitely make that time to do that trip probably after 1 o'clock though, when things have started to slow down and settle down here in Wilmington.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the Target and the Walmart are closed. There is another Walmart further down south of campus. We also have Sam's Club and Costco if you have memberships to those. And there's several different grocery stores if you just need to go out and buy them snacks or that kind of thing. So there are options. I'm not saying it's not going to be crazy or busy in Wilmington. Traffic really ramps up on that day, but it's doable for sure. And then another parent, Jackie, wants to know if there's an opportunity to say last goodbyes on Sunday. So they say goodbye on Saturday. Maybe they're staying in town to drive back on Sunday. What would you say to that?
Jackie, of course, come on by. When checking into the residence halls, you can come at any point, and all you would need is just your driver's license. So if you are staying for that weekend and you want to say your last goodbyes on Sunday, definitely come on by. Just make sure you have your driver's license.
Yeah, I think that's a really good note. Just throughout the year when you come and visit, or if your student has friends from another university come and visit or something. That you check in at the desk with your driver's license just so that y'all know who's in the building and all of that. So that was a great question, Jackie. Let's see. We've had some questions about if offices are going to be open on move-in day itself. Do you know the answer? It looks like we have a resource fair happening that afternoon. Do you know anything about that?
I know typically on move-in day, the parking is open, one cart is open, but they're open on very limited hours. I do not know the exact hours or, of course, the exact offices, but I would continue to check the website, and then maybe we can get the answer to that later on, Adam.
Yeah, so it's in the UNC Welcome Guidebook app. So if you've downloaded that, you can see the schedule of events, but also some helpful information. So what it is a resource fair. Is available from 1 to 4 in the Warwick Center, where a lot of offices will have tables and representatives there, so you can get your last minute questions answered and that kind of thing. And so it'll be financial aid, auxiliary services, student accounts, all those big things that you might have really specific questions about will be available 1 to 4 in the Warwick Center on campus. So that's helpful.
Yes, good to know.
Yes. And then let's see. Cynthia has a question of after cars are unloaded, where do they park?
So once cars are unloaded, you will be not escorted, what's the
Directed?
word? Directed to a parking lot close to the building. It may not be the parking lot that your student will be using during the school year, because I can speak specifically for Cornerstone, that parking lot is used a lot for our move-in traffic and making sure that we have the flow of things, but we aren't going to have you parking on the other side of campus either. So it'll just be wherever UPD and our parking coordinators direct you, but it will be close to the area in which your student's living in.
Yeah, great. Because I also know during that day we do bike registration at a lot of the residence halls. So if a student's bringing a bike, what is that? Do you know anything?
So bike registration is done through our parking services, who will be spread out across the residence halls. They're usually in a big white tent when you come on campus. Make sure that when you register your bike that you have the serial number for your bike, but that you also have a bike lock. It's really important that we secure our bicycles once we get them here on campus. Also, if your student's on the fence of whether or not they want to bring a bicycle, I would suggest having them come and try out our bike share program before deciding on whether or not you want to buy that bike. We have a really great bike share program, and a lot of those bicycles are placed at the residence halls.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's a lot of bikes that think they're going to be used and then get here and at the end of the semester or end of the year go around and pick up a lot of bikes across campus. So before you bring that in the car down here, really make sure your student's wanting it, or maybe wait and let them get here and kind of walk, to some of their classes and see, yes, I really do want a bike. But a lot of students also ride skateboards or longboards, scooters, rollerblades. I mean, I've seen some rollerbladers going down to Chancellor's. I don't know if I would do that, but that's their choice. But definitely skateboards, longboards are big, popular here for sure. I've never walked into any building in a university and there are like board racks. I haven't experienced that until I came here, so that's new for me. But they're really popular here on campus. Let's see. Wrapping up. There are some people that joined a little bit after we have gone live here. And so if you missed any of the information, just once we end here, the video will be on our page. And so you can just go back into the video and just kind of fast forward to the information that you missed. Would be a really simple way to get that info. And then, sorry, I'm trying to read your messages too. So that would be an easy way to make sure you get the information that you need. There was a question about parking passes. If you didn't opt to have them mailed to your student, then you can start picking them up on Monday the 12th. So they would move in that Sunday, and then Monday the 12th is before move-in. So if you're in town, you can go and pick those up, of course. Then you come to move in. So the office will be open for them to pick those up anytime. And they usually don't start ticketing immediately, but they need to pick up those parking passes in the first couple of days that they're here. So if you had to just kind of summarize, or any last minute tips that you could give for what to expect at move-in, what would you share?
Have fun is the first thing. This is an exciting time for your student, but also an exciting time for you as well. Make sure you take that moment to breathe and soak it all in, and just make sure that your student comes ready to join in and have fun as a brand new Seahawk.
Yeah. So the last kind of plug that I have is to make sure that you are a part of our Flash Family newsletter subscriber list. So if you need to, go to uncw.edu/transitions. and you'll see a family programs tab. Click on that, click on the newsletter, make sure you're signed up for that so that you'll start receiving emails. Our first flash newsletter will go out on the 12th, talking a little bit more about move-in, financial aid, those kind of big things. So make sure you're on that to get that monthly email. And then we are looking forward to doing these family chats once a month as well. So we have a new graduate assistant joining us that's going to be super helpful in this. And so this is just another way that we want to be able to share information with you as we see you really as partners in this journey with your students. So we want you to be informed. We want you to know what's going on. And I hope that this is a great way for you to learn that. And so we're super excited. Thank you so much for coming. They are busy, of course, prepping for your students, not only the buildings themselves and the assignments and all of that, but also training, their staff and their resident assistants. And so they know what they're doing and feel really confident going to their job. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and do this. We really appreciate it. We love our Housing Residence Life fam. They're our family, not our friends, but we love them. And so if you have questions, you can of course just keep leaving comments and we'll get back to you after the live portion ends. If you have specific questions for our office, you can email transitions@uncw.edu. And do y'all have just a general?
Yes, so you can email housing@uncw.
Yep, and that's just the easiest way to probably get an answer pretty quickly. So let us know if you need anything. That's what we're here for. Thank you guys for the ones that were watching live. And we look forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.